What is up, guys? Today we are looking at my game week 13 team selection. We're also looking at who is the best captain for your FPL in game week 13. So yeah, like and subscribe. Let's get right into the video. Looking at the best captains here, guys, I've nailed it down to 3 options, okay? Starting at the top, my number 1 captaincy candidate is Cole Palmer. Now, the reason why I've chosen Cole Palmer, even though he's got a hard game, is because his home stats are very good. Now, I know, particularly against the hard teams, he doesn't normally perform very well. He normally blanks, doesn't really get many returns against the tougher opposition. But guys, Cole Palmer's home stats are really good. Just one example is that he's scored 7 goals this season, and 5 of them have been at home. And looking at Aston Villa's away stats, Aston Villa are playing away, they are 14th for expected clean sheets and 15th for expected goals conceded, down there with the likes of Southampton and Wolves. Sure, their home defence is second best in the league behind Arsenal. It's very good. But away, it is very, very shaky, and I think Cole Palmer is going to be the guy to exploit it. Number 2, we've got Salah. There's not as much reasoning behind this except for the fact Salah is on amazing form, like he's on the run of his life. Even though he keeps getting older, he just keeps getting better. Man City are on the worst form in like their history under Pep Guardiola. 5 losses and then 1 draw. It's a really bad record, and it makes sense to pick the best player in the world, the best player in the Premier League, to be your captain against them. And finally, if you want to go differential, you want to think outside the box, you want to be different, or you don't want to put your faith in Palmer and Salah, you've got to go with Isak, because guys, his expected data, as you can see here, is amazing, and he's playing against the Crystal Palace team that currently sit 19th in the table with 1 win. Crystal Palace are not a force to be reckoned with, and I do think Isak is going to come away with double digits, you know. I just got a feeling about it, guys. I really do. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. I mean, Chris Wood is also a pretty solid option, you know. Wouldn't go against Chris Wood. He's pretty solid, but, you know, he doesn't have a lot of shots, so he may cap out with just 1 goal, but you never know. He can come away with a hat-trick like he did last year. You just have to wait and see. Personally, I wouldn't risk it. Anyway, guys, into my starting 11 now. We've got Sanchez in goal. Don't expect much from him. 1 or 2 points. Hopefully, he can pick up some save points for me. Mazraoui in the defence. Next up, guys, we are playing a 4 at the back. Yes, Rodgers is on my bench. That's Morgan Rodgers, who's playing away to Chelsea. I might change my mind if there's some team news that one of my players, like Havertz or Gabriel, isn't starting. But I'm pretty confident I'm going to keep Rodgers on the bench. Talking about Mazraoui, sorry, we've got off track there. Mazraoui has some really good clean sheet potential, guys. Man United's home defence is very solid, and Everton's attack is abysmal. So yeah, hopefully Mazraoui can get me some points there, and I'm sure if he does get the clean sheet, he will be in for some bonus points as well, because he's a very good player. Next up, we've got Veltman now, guys. Veltman is playing the easiest fixture possible, home to Southampton. I'm hoping for a cheeky 6-pointer, you know. There's not a lot of goal threat there, but you know he's going to start, and you know he's playing for a pretty solid team. You know, Brighton are a pretty good team, so they can keep a clean sheet in the easy games. I'm really hoping they do. Next up, Ryan Aït-Nouri. Now, guys, I'm not super confident with this clean sheet. You know, Bournemouth is not the easiest game they're not the easiest team to defend against. But Ryan Aït-Nouri has the chance for a goal, an assist, or a clean sheet. So adding up all those probabilities, you know, he could come away with a return. Like, it's a green fixture at the end of the day. So I'm quite optimistic about it. And finally, we got Gabriel. Now, guys, Arsenal's defensive numbers are insane. Most expected clean sheets, least expected goals conceded in the league in the last 5 or 6 games, even though they've played some, you know, fairly tough opponents. So yeah, I'm very happy with Gabriel in my team. Even though he's yellow flagged, I'm pretty sure he's going to be okay. But, you know, like I said, if I find out he's not, I've got Morgan Rodgers on my bench, which is pretty solid backup. Guys, we got Palmer and Salah in midfield. You already know what I expect from those two. I think they're 2 really good captaincy options. I think they're very reliable. I also think both their effective ownerships are going to be very high. I don't know if Salah's effective ownership for me is going to be above 100%. If it is, then his points won't positively affect me and I won't want him to do well. Palmer, I can't imagine his effective ownership is going to be that high above 100%, so his points are going to be a huge deal for me. Alongside those 2 in the midfield 3, we got Bruno Fernandes now. If Bruno Fernandes plays as a centre mid in this new 3-4-3 system, I'm not going to expect a lot from him, I'll be honest, guys. I mean, he's got a lot of set pieces, but that's all he will have going for him. He won't be going forward as much. Whereas if he plays as an inside forward, he's going to be lethal. I'm telling you guys, he's very good. He's a very creative player, but you all already know this. So yeah, I'm really hoping when them lineups come out, Bruno is going to be one of those inside forwards, one of those number 10s. I know you technically can't have 2 number 10s, but you kind of can at the same time. You know, it's a bit weird, but yeah, you know what I mean. In the front 3, obviously we've got Havertz, who massively disappointed me last game week. I mean, he played the full 90 of every game this season, hasn't missed a single minute. And as soon as I bring him in on my wild card, Arsenal score 3 goals and he plays 0 minutes. I find that quite offensive, you know. I'm a bit upset about it. But there were 5 first team changes in that game, so I can't expect it to be a regular thing. He did play a full 90 on Tuesday evening, He was getting Sporting Lisbon. So I'm pretty optimistic that Havertz is going to start again. I don't think it's a regular thing where he's going to be missing out on game time. So I'm really hoping he can redeem himself in my team and actually score some points, because he is very differential, guys. He's very low owned. So hopefully he can be the guy that gives me a big haul and, maybe take away all those points from Saka while he's at it. We have last week's hero as well in Nicholas Jackson, guys. 12-pointer for me was huge. He was actually the lowest owned player on my team, which shocked me, to be honest, because he's been a really good asset all season and he's got a really good run of games coming up. Like Chelsea's next 11 games, guys, they are the best in the league. So yeah, make sure you get Jackson if you want to move forward, because Jackson is probably one of the best ones out there long term. I know he's not as cheap as all the other guys, but he is very good, and I would argue he is worth the extra 1.5 to 2 million. Finally, guys, we got Isak in the team. Now, Isak, I'm a huge fan of. I do believe I've come across a hidden gem here, even though he's not really a hidden gem because everybody knows him. His ownership is kind of low at the moment, and he is getting so many expected goals and a decent amount of expected assists. Newcastle don't have the easiest fixture run, but it's definitely better than average, like a top 10 fixture run in the league. But even then, Isak has scored in so many hard games already. He's scored against most of the top 6. So I'm not really worried, even when he does play the hard games. And I do think his ownership is going to be very high soon, because his form is amazing and he's going to continue that form. He's going to keep it going. The only problem is too many people will be stuck with all the cheap forwards. So, I'm kind of hoping to be a bit differential in that aspect. I've kind of left the cheap forwards alone on my wildcard, even though this isn't a wildcard. I wildcarded last week, just for context. I've left the cheap forwards on my wildcard, hoping these mid-price to expensive forwards can do an even better job for me. Obviously, last week that wasn't the case, but I'm hoping this week is a little different. Anyway, guys, let me know who you think I should bench in the comments as well. Let me know if you think I should change my mind, because Morgan Rogers is a good asset to be leaving behind. It kind of worries me because his ownership is quite high. So feel free to let me know if you think I'm making the wrong decision. And yeah, let me know what you think of the team. And we're going to take some serious wins this week. I hope so. I got my first red arrow in 5 weeks last game week, and that was when I used my wild card. I was quite upset about it. Anyway, guys, if you made it this far, you are greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.